Hollywood. Yeah, that's it. Action. Yeah, not wearing scrubs today. I'm wearing casual clothes. Yeah, it's mainly because I just packed up my scrubs, and also I was like, oh, I already went out today and I was already in nice clothes, so I was thinking to myself, why should I get changed? Might as well film myself in these clothes. It's nothing bad. But I also packed up my scrubs, and I just can't be asked to go all the way down to the car, take him out of the bag, and then do the reverse, so I can go back. And yeah, I'm just extremely lazy. But also look like I like to waffle. I mean, it seems like I like to waffle, that's what I mean. And it looks like I've been waffling for, what is it now, 47 seconds about my shirt, and I'm still carrying on waffling about it. But this kind of goes in with my with the topic of this video, which is don't talk crap in front of doctors. They'll grill you for it. Now, what I mean by this is just in front of doctors who are very knowledgeable, or in front of any healthcare professional who's very knowledgeable and knows what they're talking about. Careful if you want to banter, or if you want to say something just extraordinary to them. Let me just put it into perspective to you with an anecdote that happened to me, and all I'm saying is, after this story, I wouldn't be surprised if you guys come after me with steaks and forks and pitches, whatever it's called. And yeah, my friends were like that to me afterwards, after this story, and you'll see why they were after me with forks and pitches. I forgot the term. But a couple weeks back, this doctor was putting cream on his spots on his arm, and I thought, because I accidentally read Colgate on it, I asked him, are you putting toothpaste on? And he looked at me with the most confused look ever. And it's me, why Colgate? He's never heard of people putting Colgate on spot. So I explained to him how some people put Colgate on spots to dry up the spot and take it out. And he looked at me like, is this guy a buffoon or something? After I explained it to him, he was like, no, it's hydrocortisone. And then he started questioning me about the inflammatory pathway. Like, what do you think this spots on my arms are? And how they're inflammation. And what was then we started looking up the ingredients of toothpaste. And he was showing me how none of them can be really useful for against inflammation. They were only useful to whiten your teeth. And then we're looking up the usefulness of steroids against inflammation that he had. And then he was grilling us about the inflammation pathway. Now this was at the end of the day, so we were meant to finish at 4:30 because we ran out of tasks, so we were finishing early. Because of that one dumb comment that I mentioned, is that Colgate, is that toothpaste, we finished half an hour late. We finished at 5:30. We spent an hour talking about inflammation. And then he said to us at the end of it, come back tomorrow. We'll talk about inflammation then. You guys have better read up about inflammation so we can talk about the pathways. Luckily, we had teaching that day, so we didn't see him. But we would have died if we did. And yeah, all my friends were after me afterwards, were like, why did you do this? And now I'm known as toothpaste. But I like to name myself in a good way after this. I like to name myself Colgate, to sort of add sugar to the salt in the wound that has been added to me in that wound by me. I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. But what has this got to do? This is a weird anecdote, which is, especially in places like A&E, which is sort of rush. Here's a patient, facts. Don't waffle like I do. Don't say weird comments or weird suggestions. I mean, in medicine, it's appropriate to sort of think outside the box, to say think outlandishly. But when you do think outlandishly, make sure it makes sense, and make sure that you're not just spewing questions or knowledge or ideas just for the fun of it. Make sure they're actually useful to what you're applying in wherever you are. Now, what do I mean by this? Say, for example, you are a medical student who is on a rotation, and we're taught that asking questions, there's no such thing as a dumb question, and that's very true. I ask all kinds of questions and I encourage it. For prospective medical students, go ahead. But make sure the questions you have some context. Because the worst thing that can happen is a doctor can get angry, and that's not really good for anyone. It'd be not good for your education, and also, you never know about doctors' personalities. A couple of my friends have had bad experiences in that way. But also, in terms of your learning, when you ask a question, you want it to be relevant to, you have some context to what you're seeing in front of you and what you're learning. So say you're seeing a patient with a certain presentation, make sure you ask a question relevant to that presentation. So they come in with, I don't know, a broken leg, don't ask something about how a broken leg can affect, I don't know, how their smell is functioning. I mean, it could, but is it that highly relevant to that presentation? Because in the end, you're just wasting your own time, and you're going off on tangents and not keeping on a straight line of learning. So not really, by going on these tangents, you're not really adding proper knowledge to what you're seeing in front of you and what you're learning. And even though for me, that case where I was talking about the Colgate was just sort of, you know, it's just a general trivia, just, you know, general banter with the doctor. It was a massive tangent because A, we could have left home, or B, we could have seen other patients. So now we were learning about inflammation, which is useful, but we could have seen more patients with, I don't know, a broken leg or something else. So you're not really benefiting yourself by going on these tangents and avoiding learning, teaching yourself properly. So all in all, basically what I'm trying to say at the end of the day is don't be me. Because I mess up a lot. I may do a lot of these tangent things and those come back to bite me, whether it's someone grilling me or whether it's me just not learning properly. So learn from my mistakes and be better doctors. And I'll see you all in the next chapter.